Hi, so we're here with Eddie Goyanes from Alienware, who's going to show us some of the new stuff that Dell and Alienware are working on from Computex.
This Computex, we're announcing several new products, but my favorite are, of course, the Alienware, the new Alienware M15 and the new Alienware M17. These are the world's thinnest and smallest gaming laptops Alienware has ever created. You'll notice they're right behind me. They're available in the Lunar Light and Dark Side of the Moon colors. They follow the same industrial design known as Legend that we introduced at CES this past year. And you'll expect to see a lot of the products come out, moving forward in that same design language.
So so that was the first one we saw with the Area 51.
Area 51M
earlier in the year.
Correct, yeah.
So now this going to the thinner lights with the
exactly.
M15, the M17.
Exactly, yeah.
So what's with the new design then? Is it kind of growing up for an older audience? Is it maturing? How's that changed with
we didn't make any decisions based on customer age, really, but we knew that we wanted to improve the systems not only from the outside but from the inside as well. And so what we've done is we've taken the same design choices that we had in the Area 51M and we incorporated them in the new M15 and the new M17. So you'll see things like a magnesium alloy chassis. You'll see PerKey lighting on the keyboard, which we've actually engineered. It's a brand new keyboard. I could talk about that for a while.
Yeah.
Essentially, anything that wherever you feel the system, when you set your hand on it, the touchpad has changed, the keyboard has changed. We have tons of screen options as well, depending on what your priorities are. And from a performance perspective, they're the fastest thin and lights we've ever seen. And we're very, very excited about it.
So what's the kind of main new innovative feature with the M15 and M17?
I'm glad you asked.
Yeah.
So they're absolutely stunning from the outside. As far as innovation is concerned, our engineering team really killed it. Our engineering team introduced what we're calling hyper-efficient VR for voltage regulation, not virtual reality.
Right, yeah.
And what that's all about is, in the easiest explanation, we're introducing 8-phase graphics voltage regulation and 6-phase processor voltage regulation. So you might ask, well, what is that? Well, it's going to enable our GPU and our CPU to run at their highest levels for an extended amount of time, longer than more traditional thin and light gaming laptops.
Yeah, because normally, especially if you have an NVIDIA GPU, it will kind of balance the performance based on the thermals and the power that it can get.
And we will still do that, but we're able to hold it longer. So I think one of the good analogies is, you think of a vehicle, of a car, right? When you accelerate and the RPMs go to the red line, think of our systems as holding the red line for a longer amount of time without overheating.
Yeah.
So when you look at benchmarks, we're gonna do really, really well as far as benchmarks are concerned. We've already done some tests on Cinebench, on 3D Mark, and we're seeing incredible gains over the previous thin and light M15 and M17.
So aside from the power delivery, the actual thermals, like keeping that cool, how do you manage it in such a
We had to re-engineer that entire thing. And that involved having our GPU fan and our CPU fan increase in diameter size. So it's different for the M15 and the M17, but they've both increased by an order of magnitude. In fact, airflow on the M15 has increased by 10%. And on the M17, we've been able to position the internals in a way that the air is traveling to those core components 25% more effectively than the prior generation. So the cooling solution to enable all this performance was critical. And we did that while making them thinner than the previous notebooks, which is a big task. We had to use technologies that are available in desktops, technologies that are available in cell phones, to architect this new motherboard design that could support it all and also meet our physical requirements.
I guess that's probably the benefit of Alienware. You've got the kind of the massive Dell behind you, so you've got a huge amount of product innovation that you can kind of chuck behind it.
We do. Yeah. Thankfully, our engineering resources are incredible. Our design resources are incredible, and the imagination behind the Alienware team is nonstop. So when you combine those things all together, we've got incredible products like the ones behind me. We are so excited. We had to re-engineer. So think about this. The M15 is actually 2% thinner than the previous M15. So we went thinner, but actually the key travel on this keyboard increased. It was 1.4 millimeter, now we have 1.7 millimeter. So we increased the key travel. We added per key lighting. We added N key rollover technology. We even changed the size of these keys, making it, just to enable a more premium experience when gamers are playing. You also notice this really cool honeycomb pattern at the top. And it's not just for looks. The top of the notebook as well as the bottom is where the air comes into the unit. And we actually exhaust air through the sides, both sides, and the rear. So it's a very efficient cooling system. We're going to support up to Core i9 processors, 9th gen Core i9 processors, and even NVIDIA RTX 2080 Max-Q graphics on both the 15 and the 17. And then you have it in a beautiful chassis following the Legend Industrial Design that we launched in January at CES.
So it's kind of like a little shrunken down version of the Area 51 when you look at it.
It absolutely is. It absolutely is. Yeah.
Especially the back. I don't want to turn it too much, gonna knock everything.
Yeah, the notebooks. Actually, the notebooks, they all follow the same design. So yes, we have basically our thermal shelf in the back where the black is, and you'll see like branding on the bottom right of the A panel. This is all magnesium alloy. This is magnesium alloy. The bottom's magnesium alloy.
So is magnesium alloy, what's the benefit of that?
Oh, sure. So it's a little more costly, but magnesium alloy allows us to go thinner. It allows us to save weight, but we're able to maintain the structural rigidity that customers like. So it's not going to feel like a plastic floppy type of notebook. It's actually very, very strong, and it feels very rigid.
Yeah. So before, when I talked to Alienware, I was chatting to Frank Izor about it. They were saying that you guys weren't limited by the brand of components that you put in these things. You just picked the ones that were the best performance.
That's right.
So in that same sense, we're at Computex. AMD just announced Ryzen 3000.
Yeah.
Obviously, nothing on the mobile side yet. But is that something that Alienware consider putting into a future system?
So we're always looking at all the technology that's out there. I'd be lying to you if I told you that we didn't have those kinds of samples lying around in our own engineering labs, right? It's just, for us, it's about timing, and we want to make sure that we have the right products out at the right time. But to answer your question, we're absolutely looking at anything anyone delivers, whether it be AMD, Intel, or NVIDIA, or any other manufacturer for that matter. It could be anyone. So we're constantly looking at new ways to innovate.
Yeah, because the Area 51 had a desktop CPU in it, right?
It does, that's right.
So there's potential for a 12-core Alienware laptop.
Potential for so many things.
Right, okay.
So many things. In fact, I'll tell you this. In January, when we launched the new Area 51M, that was the introduction of the new Legend Industrial Design. When our designers come up with these new designs, they don't do it for one product. They actually draw out what any kind of product would look like. So think of any kind of technology that you use on a day-to-day basis. We probably have a drawing or a concept for that kind of a product itself. Yeah. Doesn't mean we're going to come out with all these things, but we have to think outside the box to continue challenging ourselves and growing in many ways.
Yeah, so the other thing that's new with these laptops, which I've spotted as well, is the Tobii eye tracking.
That's right.
So that's now integrated into it.
So we're really excited about that. So previously, we only had Tobii eye tracking in our Area 51M and in our previous Alienware 17 notebook. Now we're really happy to introduce it into our thin gaming laptops. In fact, our M15 is the world's first 15-inch notebook to incorporate Tobii eye tracking. So that's a pretty cool statement as well. Yeah. So, and it's all about immersion. So to us, immersion isn't just about a high resolution. It's about the way the keys feel when you type, the way the trackpad feels, the touchpad feels, the way that you interact with the machine in general, the way the lights react when you're playing particular games. And if you could use your eyes to control and improve your gaming experience, that's all about that experience that gamers crave for. So it's definitely a step in the immersive category for us.
So the other thing with immersion, we've seen quite a few laptops going with high refresh rate panels, even some 4K 120 Hertz ones. So what's the max spec of the M15 and M17?
Sure, so they're different. On the M15, we've got our highest spec displays. We have an FHD 240 Hertz panel. Right. That's on an IPS panel as well.
Oh, okay.
And then we also have an OLED 4K HDR 400 panel, which also incorporates iSafe technology.
Okay, yeah.
So if you're not familiar with iSafe, it helps reduce the amount of blue light that our eyes are exposed to, thereby protecting your eyes as well. So those are the two high-end options on the M15.
Yeah. So I heard with the iSafe thing that it manages to do that without reducing the color gamut that you actually experience.
Yeah,
How is that?
Absolutely.
How is that part? I've not experienced it. So
Yeah. So I'll be honest with you, I'm not the expert in iSafe technology, but I know that it has to do with the way that two things: the way the software manages the lighting on the panel, as well as the hardware itself. So it is a combination of software and hardware that accomplishes this. But we're able to keep the picture quality, keep the colors, the brightness.
Now we've just got something way more blue light on us as well.
All right, yeah.
You can have iSafe
that
on
just
this.
turned on. How appropriate, blue light, right?
Yeah.
We're also, you'll notice, these are the narrowest borders we've ever had on an Alienware notebook. And that's a part of the new Legend Industrial Design as expressed in the notebooks. We want to make the screen, the front of screen experience optimized, so we want to reduce those bezels as much as possible.
So it feels kind of a bit more immersive when you get rid of the bezels.
That's right. So most regions will offer an NVIDIA GeForce GTX 1660 Ti at the base for this machine. So even that will be a pretty cool GPU. But if you want, when you get home, you could absolutely connect it to your graphics amplifier, connect a RTX 2080 card, and be good to go.
Cool, perfect.
Sure.
All right, well, thank you very much. I think we've kind of covered everything.
All right.
Unless there's anything else you want to
Nope.
say. Perfect.
Sounds good.